Commitment to the community is seen in more ways than one. Many organisations in our community have benefited from Rotary's goodwill and service.
Right from the start, we presented at many Rotary meetings, and each time we presented at a Rotary meeting, something would happen. Sometimes they gave us money, sometimes they gave us help. For example, at one of the Rotary meetings, I showed them the plans of this building and said, I know how this building needs to be developed. And a man came up to me afterwards and said very kindly I was wrong. He was an architect and he would do all that for us because he did know how it should be done. And indeed he was one of the Rotary people who started things off.
My name is Michael Gorman and I'm the Christchurch City Missioner. Rotary has consistently been supportive of the mission, and it's done that in terms of donations to various funding crises that we may have had, but it has also taken on activities that they do year after year. We have an activity called the Big Clean Out, and the Rotary Club organise big containers, and then we ask the people of Christchurch to bring anything to those big containers, and then the Rotary Club take them to us, the full of all these goods, and we use them, sell them in the shop or give them away to people in need. But the Rotary Club actually does more substantial stuff for us than that. They're an organisation that looks for opportunities to serve, and they've been amazingly supportive of the Christchurch City Mission.
The Cancer Society's been around for about 77, 78 years. We're a not-for-profit organisation. We rely solely on the community's generosity in allowing us to deliver the free services that we offer. So we're very, very dependent on our own fundraising, grants and assistance from service groups. Rotary's been very, very generous to the Cancer Society in a multitude of ways, from small grants and donations in kind, through to volunteer support when we've done fundraising out in the community. Rotary have often put their hand up to help us with finding those volunteers, so Rotarians come out on the street to help us do these tasks. And thirdly, through really generously big donations for special projects. It means that the Cancer Society can continue to offer its free services to all people with cancer. We couldn't do that unless service clubs like Rotary supported us.
The Ronald McDonald House provides accommodation for families who have to bring their children to Christchurch to receive medical care. When we say children, we go to the age of 20. Really, the families just need to bring themselves any special dietary needs and their own personal clothing. Support and funding is gained from a number of sources. It is the house that Love built, and the house that Love built came from the community. Our major donor has been the community. We fundraise. Rotary have given us just so much support since the inception of the house. In fact, it was Sunrise Rotary in the very early days of Ronald McDonald House and our development. I was approached through Sunrise Rotary Group and about how Rotary from a local community could get involved behind the house, and then regionally it's spread over the nearly 8 years that we've been operational to offer us internal fundraising that they do from within their own Rotarians and the Rotary groups.
Internationally, Rotary contributes to and helps thousands of people that have been left fighting for survival and needing help during desperate times.
Haiti earthquake in January was a huge disaster. It cost hundreds of thousands of lives and displaced hundreds and thousands of people whose homes were destroyed either totally or partially. We set about providing them with our standard box. Soon realised that all that was needed there in the main was tents, so we then moved towards just bringing in as many tents as we could into the city and surrounding area. I'm one of 5 New Zealand shelter box response team members. That is, our role is to take our shelter boxes into disaster zones and see that they get into the hands of the most needy. There's 150 of us throughout the world. We come from a variety of backgrounds and cultures, and yes, that's all part of learning, and in the field it's really helpful to have a wide range of experience and cultural background.
Without Rotary, our friends around the world, Shelterbox probably wouldn't exist, because I say endlessly that it's the cement that binds Shelterbox together. 32,000 clubs in 200 countries around the world, 1.2 million like-minded people all over the world. So that actually gives us that confidence. And when I started Shelterbox, in that first day, I did it knowing that I had a million friends around the world that were there to get behind this project and help. So without Rotary, Shelterbox wouldn't exist. It's as simple as that.
Rotary New Zealand Community Service came together 25 years ago, in fact, this October. A group of Rotarians who represented most of the regions around New Zealand got together and they formed a committee. And that committee met in Wellington, and they determined at that time that they would act as a national entity to assist clubs with World Community Service projects that they wish to do. Basically, a lot of our projects are ongoing. These projects generally are what we call economic development projects, in that the whole idea of the project is to create a situation where we can create income for the local people to be able to become self-sustaining. Each time there is a disaster in the Pacific area, Rotary New Zealand has a responsibility to those countries, and so therefore when there is a disaster like Cyclone Thomas recently in Fiji, we respond, we dispatch our emergency response kits, and in the last 6 months, starting with the tsunami in Samoa last October, through to now we've distributed something like 600 of these kits.
For more than 2 decades, working with our partners in the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, raising and deploying hundreds of millions of dollars and relying on tens of thousands of tireless volunteers, Rotary's Polio Plus program has battled polio in more than 120 countries around the world.
A group of us got together in Auckland at that time, and we considered the project which was being promoted by Rotary International, and we would determine that we would assist, and the only way we could assist obviously in those early days was with fundraising. And to date, Rotarians have contributed $7 million New Zealand towards the project.